All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us again for our weekly real estate backstory. We do this every Monday, kind of get the comings and goings of the real estate market here in the Atlanta area, everything we see happening, and just trying to get you started off on the right foot for the week. So my name is Alan Richardson, the managing broker.
My name is Richardson, compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
That too. So we'd like
That's all.
we'd like to start out this morning and kind of talk about some things we're seeing in the market. And so the first one is that, I've been hearing a lot of different things.
Is the market slowing down?
Well, I mean, we hear, is the market slowing down, or also is it just that we're doing a lame job? Well, just this past week, I had an agent that I saw an agent online that was complaining about, my property's not getting enough showings. I'm not getting enough activity. This market's really affecting. And so thankfully she's not ours, but I went and looked, right?
It out.
And so I'm looking at it, and I'm starting to see this trend right now where there's still a lot of agents that have this idea that they can do the basic four or just those basic four steps. And the basic four is sign of the yard, lockbox on the door, in the MLS, pray. And so for listing agents especially, that just do those basics, that aren't doing anything special, that aren't driving traffic, we're seeing higher days on market, we're seeing more price reductions, and we're also seeing people who are getting shot by the market. And so for listing agents, listen up. The days of being able to do the basic four, and you've got 5,000 people coming at you and you're getting 25 offers and you don't have to do anything for it, that's not
our days are gone.
Yeah, that's not our market anymore. And so we need to make sure that we're positioning ourselves to be really, really successful in this market still, because it still is a seller's market. There's still a lot of activity going on. We still have buyers that want homes, but our buyers have much more power now, and we are moving towards a more balanced market. And so the listing agents that realize that and capitalize on that, they're going to be the superstars right now. The folks that just think, well, I've always done it this way. And especially for newer agents, they only know the market that we've had for the past 4 or 5 years. And so if that's the case, they have no idea what moving into a more balanced market is. I mean, even pre-COVID, it was a seller's market. So, this idea that we can just kind of do whatever. So
do the basic four, it's not going to work. So what we want you to think about is reevaluate your property, listing agent. Is it a bad listing? Do you have bad listing photos?
Yeah. Do your pictures stink? Pictures are a really, really big deal. So many of our buyers start out online, and if those pictures are yeah. I mean, it's
and we see really where you'll see front of the house, and then we'll see basement picture, and then I'll jump up to living room, and then I'll jump down to bathroom, and then kitchen, and it just all over the place.
Well, so my favorite are the ones that start off with like a bedroom picture. Like what on earth, why would that be your main picture, is a picture of the bedroom?
I don't think MLS allows that now anymore. Honestly, MLS require you to have a front photo of the picture of the home.
But their orders are just all over the place. Right. So, and then take plenty of them. There's so many places for us to put photos. That whole picture is 1,000 words, really goes through there.
It lasts longer.
The other thing that Ming and I try and work really hard on when we would list properties is that description, having a really well thought out description of the property, not just that boring 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom ranch kind of thing, but really describing just the property features, because we only want to talk about property. We don't want to talk about people. To make sure that we're being wise about
and not violating fair housing.
Yep.
Right.
But I'm seeing some really lame-o property descriptions out there, and so we love to wordsmith our listings, and folks read those. It really does matter.
Well, just think about it. When you present photo, if you present it in a manner when people walk in the house, they can see the flow of the home, as well as your description, because it all do matter. So listing agents, here's some couple of checklists and checkpoints that you need to look at. 1, do you have a good photo? 2, is a photo lined up? When I say lined up, meaning walk through the home and you can visualize it. You virtually walking in, see the home as you walk in. Is it got a good description of all the features,
Yeah.
the products, whatever it may be at the house? If it has a butler pantry, please describe that. If it has theater room, please describe that. If it has a
Walk-in
ample,
laundry.
yeah, walk-in
Those are huge.
laundry, stuff like that, please don't just put laundry room. I mean, we all know what laundry room is. It's no big deal. Now, does the property have good curb appeal?
Look, I mean that initial shot when you first see the house. I mean, so many times buyers will pull up, and if that house doesn't look great from the
Mhm.
curb, they're not going in.
And I have had in past took buyer to the property and because the picture looks really great online. But once they drove through the neighborhood and started looking at the curb appeal, they're like,
It's a turn off.
we don't want to
Yep.
go in, you know?
Yep. We also, another issue is the property priced correctly. Right now we're seeing more price reductions, and actually those are starting to level off. Folks are starting to realize that they can't just be ridiculous about pricing anymore. But making sure that that price is right. Still, at the end of the day, we hear so many times like, well, what can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? You can get the price right. That's going to be the number one thing. Price versus conditions always going to be
Correct.
spot on. After that would be staging. Is the home actually staged, and is it really appealing to the masses of buyers, or does it have like we had one listing and grandma had 83 pictures on the wall. She had to take those down. Not that she didn't love her grandkids, but no one else could walk in the house and see what they would, like they couldn't picture their own pictures on the wall because there were so many of granny's pictures up on the wall, kind of thing.
Right.
So also the days of not networking are past. It's time to network. So being in your realtor
Can't use
boards, coming out to
COVID.
different events,
You
all
can't
that kind of
use
stuff.
COVID as an excuse anymore, y'all. There's vaccine, there's booster, and I know some of y'all may not believe in it, and I totally respect that. I understand gone are the day that you can just do everything virtual. You got to start networking and build that relationship in your community.
And then social media. We still have some agents that don't like to do social media, but if you're trying to market and list your properties, you want as much exposure as you can get. And in the social media platforms, that is a really, really great way to be able to move that forward. So
back to the question: is the market slowing down, or is it poor listed home?
well, we do have some market slowdowns, but that being said, our inventory is super low, so there's no need for that going on right now.
Correct. So you want to maximize your listing by helping and preventing some of those issues that we just talked about.
Yep. So Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac released the primary mortgage survey for the week, and so it's coming in at 589, which is really high.
Huge.
Yeah, it is. It jumped up another almost 20 something points.
We did predict that. We thought it's going to be around 6 this year.
Well, but here's the difference though, in looking at the data from Freddie Mac, is that is a very well, I'm trying to find the right way to put it. That rate is not across the board. What we're seeing a lot of lenders that are at 6.25 and a 6 and an 8. And then we're also seeing a lot of lenders that are at 5.6, 5.5. There is a lot of price disparity right now between the different lenders. Different lenders have different thresholds for the amount of risk that they're willing to take. Some lenders are much more aggressive at this time, and some lenders are much more conservative at this time because there is so much market volatility.
Shop around, y'all.
That's really the bottom line right there. Is that we should be instructing our clients to shop around. If they're not happy with the rate, keep looking, because that is going to.
And the common question is that if they pull my credit, would it reduce my credit score? No, there's a thing called soft pull and hard pull. So when the lender do a soft pull, there's no ding. You can do it within 30 days, and there's no ding on your credit report or rating.
Yep.
So just remember that everybody acts differently in lending world, and so therefore you may see some. I know we have discouraged around using community bank as well as a big industrial, big name bank, because the fact their timeline is so long. But that might be an option at this point.
There's
because
times that there's times for a lot of different loan products out there. That's
Right.
one right there.
But tell your favorite lender. I promise you, if you just keep touch with your favorite lender, you'll do your client justice.
So one of the biggest impacts that our clients have on their mortgage payment is their actual credit score.
Mhm.
And for the first time in 11 years, credit scores did not go up. And so it stayed flat, which I guess is better than going down for sure. But, for the last 11 years, we've had a pretty steady increase in credit. And right now, around 20% of the FICO scoreable population saw their score decrease by at least 20 points. And so folks that need to understand, we need to be the educators out here that maintaining a solid credit history and a good credit report is essential to getting a good rate. I don't care how low or high the rates are. If your credit stinks, you're not getting a good rate. It has nothing.
Yeah, that little bit of points matters in a 30-year term, because when you go to closing, half the time the attorney say, don't look at the final number, because the final number has the principal and all the interest for 30 years. Typically is twice the amount that you actually have to borrow during that lifetime of the loan. So that little bit of adjustment and credit rate and interest rate does matter.
Yeah, it really does. Now, as far as like looking forward kind of thing, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and NAR put out their projections for what's going to happen through this year into the first quarter next year and all the way through next year, really kind of thing. And so they're looking at a quarter four total of around 5.4%. Like if you morph them all together, because just kind of putting them all together, looking at a 5.4, then a 5.3, then a 5.2, then back into the 4.8s. And so what we see is a steadily decreasing mortgage rate environment moving forward. And that really does open the door for us to really kind of take the approach of marry the house, date the rate.
Correct.
Right? Because for so many years, I mean, back in our day, everyone went out and started off with an FHA mortgage, and after a couple of years, they went and refied with a conventional at a lower rate. And that's really kind of the scenario we see setting up. As soon as my personal feeling is, as soon as the Fed starts tapering or not seeing such huge, I mean, we've taken 75 basis point increases on the federal funds rate. And while I know that doesn't necessarily directly affect mortgage rates, it affects the market. When the market feels really volatile, a lot of people move into 10-year treasuries. And so when they start going down to a quarter point or a half point increase in the federal funds rate, I really do think that the market's going to react very positively with that. And so we're kind of looking for those kind of symbols or signs coming to us, kind of thing. So NAR just released the anatomy of a first-time buyer. So again, it is 33 years old. That's still the all-time high. It's been the all-time high for the last 3 or 4 years. So our first-time buyers are 33 years old. On average, they're making $86,500. The median purchase price for them is $252,000. They have about 7% down payment, and so you can figure out real quickly on what 7% of $252. That's about what. But depending on what it is, a lot of them do carry student debt, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward with the debt relief on that kind of thing. On average, these are starter homes and townhomes and condos. These are much smaller.
And this is why you have such a bidding war on these little, 252 prior pandemic was not considered median price. I mean, just less than 5 years ago, our starting price was anywhere from 150 and 200, but now in South Atlanta, of course, not North.
But we can't live in that market.
Correct. So you can see that how we have fluctuated in just a very short years.
But these are where our buyers are now. And now the market is really moving. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is, the days of I've got so many buyers has moved. Right. That's not our current market right now. Now it's back to trying to find the qualified buyers who are able, ready, and willing to buy.
And talk to your lender, because there are some DPA programs are available.
We're seeing more come through.
And please just talk to your lender and see what they can help with the first-time home buyer. That has excellent credit.
So median sales price is still running around 6% year over year. So you can see that we're still not looking at a reduction.
If you remember, back in June and May, we were in double-digit increase. Now you see how it's tailored down a little
Tapering
bit
down
to a more normalized increase.
Yeah, we're seeing it level off, which is really a good sign. Our asking prices are still around 9% up. So you can still see that there's a pretty
Good
significant
chunk.
disparity between we're listing at about 9% over, we're only selling at about 5% over.
Correct.
So we're still kind of coming out a little bit higher than what the market is really expecting to pay right now. Now, of that, pending sales are down 18%. And on one hand, you think, man, that looks really, really bad. The other is you have to understand that these are trends. That this is a 4-week rolling average. And so what happens in the fall every year?
We go down.
So,
If
you know,
look at the
yeah.
trend, it
Yeah,
does do that.
it is under there. We are going to see some of these are going to be natural trends. We knew that the summer was already going to be slower, that kind of thing.
And you're going to get a little pop around October because people are trying to move in December,
Yep.
just so you know.
So, at the same time, that previous one was from Redfin. So Realtor.com, we're seeing the exact same kind of thing, but you can still see that we're still above 2017, 2018, 2019. Okay, only the last 2 years where things were nuts are we below. But like if you compare us to the quote unquote normal market in the 2000 teens up to 2020, like the market, I mean, we're still above that level. So please don't be like, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end kind of thing.
Falling.
Yeah. And then this is from Georgia MLS. This is the same trends that we're seeing on the national level as well. So yeah, pending sales are down, but this is also trending the same kind of way. Now, one area that's, and this is one of those things that we're finding really disturbing is that the number of new listings coming in the market are 16% lower. So we don't have enough listings. So right now, we don't have enough buyers. We also don't have enough listings out there.
And part of that is builder, because builder has shifted.
They have tapered off, yeah.
They have shifted their focus to different type of models and building for an investor versus for.
Well, we have some of that. We also have a lot of townhomes coming up too right now.
Right.
So active listings for sale is still, so our total listings are up over last year, but still not up to 2020 or previous year levels or that kind of stuff. But our new listings, those are the ones that what we're seeing is the new listings coming in the market are going off really, really quickly.
Correct.
Still 36% of pending sales are in a contract within 2 weeks. And so that still shows that there's still a lot of activity going on. There's still a great market out here. It's still a seller's market.
Depending on the price point.
Yeah, that's true. Homes are sold in a median of 26 days. So still good days on market up there. Now, number of homes sold above list price, that has started to taper off. That being said, it's still over 2020. So yeah, it's down under last year, but we're still up over 2020. And so,
last year, you just can't have year to year to year to year, huge trend of increase. So it is naturally expected that you're going to taper off.
Yeah.
So just understand that, because everybody have priced their homes so high that the appraiser are rebutting it, and also the lenders are. So
7% of properties are having price drops. Now, the good news is that's actually starting to taper back down a little bit. So, we had seen a very steady increase. And so the rolling average right now, it's right around 7% of listings are having to have price drops. And so that is, I don't have the 2018, 2019, but we're not historically that much higher than those times right now.
Correct.
And then this is the first here, because the average home right now sold for 99.8 of list price. When's the last time that we were under 100% of list price? Was pre-COVID. So we're just now getting back. And again, we keep talking about this. This is
it's a market, the
balancing market out. The market is balancing out.
Yes, it is balancing out, but please don't think the sky's falling, because the value is still there compared to pre-pandemic.
Yep. Now, Case-Shiller, they put out their value forecast, and I kind of wanted to share this with everyone really quickly here. And so, you can kind of see what they've been projecting and what they have looking forward. And so a lot of people see this and immediately they start to get, like they tense up and they like, look at that huge drop. And so, the dark red, that's what they're predicting to kind of have, and the blue line, that's actually what they're looking at. So when you look at that, you think, oh my goodness, real estate is really, really going nuts. No, but this is really what it is. We're at 15 point, I mean, as a nationwide, we're about 15.8%. And this is information from CoreLogic. And it's hard to beat their information, because most of our MLSs across the nation are powered by CoreLogic. So, they're looking at a currently almost 16% price appreciation. However, long term, next year, they're looking at 3.8. Oh my gosh, 3.8. Like, that's normal, right? I mean, 4.4% is our average, and is like, if you just took the last 50 years and looked at how much property values increase year over year, it runs at 4.4%. So if we had a year come in at 3.8%, we're still seeing positive appreciation. We're just not seeing as aggressive of appreciation, that kind of stuff. So,
well, we've done that pretty good last 2 years. So therefore it's kind of once again tapering down, but not tapering down to where.
But we're not dropping prices, right? So, all overall, they're looking at a price appreciation of around 3.8 by roughly this time next year. Opendoor, this is one of those things where sometimes we just choose not to act like they're around, or sometimes they occupy a lot of our thoughts and that kind of stuff. But Opendoor commissions have been flopping around a good bit. And so there are still a lot of agents that go and we show their properties, that kind of stuff. And just know that what is interesting is that Opendoor moves their agent commissions from property to property. And the longer that a property sits on the market, the higher the commission rate will be, which really does show the importance of real estate agents in that scenario kind of thing. So you can see that in Atlanta, it's almost 50-50 between 2% and 2.25%. So nationwide, they're running about a point below, half to a point below, is that a really word? To a point less than what would be norms or averages. Again, there is no price fixing, there's no set commission rates in Georgia or anywhere in the US. So, but that being said, what we are seeing is that when properties sit on the market for longer amounts of time, they raise it. And so sometimes they're going up now 3.5% on properties. And honestly, here in the Atlanta market, that's happened. Only Dallas-Fort Worth has had more higher 3.5% agent commissions. So a couple of things here. One, remember that with Opendoor, the agent commission rate is negotiable.
Correct.
Okay. The other one is that the longer that a property has been sitting on, the higher the commission that they're going to offer. But if they're offering a higher commission, you should really be looking at that, because that means that property has higher days on market.
What that means is that either it has some deferred maintenance that they know that needs to be repaired but are not fully disclosed because they always go under the investor clause. We don't know. Or two, they're just pricing, when they did an algorithm, when they first purchase a property, they have a set price that they have to sell it. And now that price is no longer justifiable. It basically is a miscalculation in front, and that where they have to get this price in order to satisfy their investors.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we do have replays coming. When are the replays coming, Megan?
September 17th. That's when it's available.
So 5 days is when we'll have the replays coming and available in all of our offices. Now for training this week, well, first of all, we have a sales meeting tomorrow in all of our offices, all partners' offices. We have a sales meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
And the format is that we'll do half virtual, and the other half is actually really great
in-person local office. Yes,
participation. So there's going to be different topics that it's not going to be discussed on virtual, simply because there are some things that's happening in a local level that we want to discuss in individual office. So please do join us, realtors, And also, if you're not a member of Maximum One, come and check us out. And we're always about educating the public.
Yeah. Now on Wednesday we have mastering appraisals. So that is a really great class, especially right now. We need to nail values. That's gonna be
Correct.
our McDonough office. We have mastering appraisals. On Thursday, I'm going to be over in West Georgia, Carrollton, teaching effective negotiating. And then Friday, Ming or I or both will be over at our airport office doing contracts offered acceptance. It's our basics contracts writing class, that kind of thing.
And it's not just about writing, it's also talking about what's going on in today's trends. So it'll be a really good course if you want to know how to strategize and how to look what listing agents looking for, what the lender's looking for, and etc. So it'll be a great class.
So thank you guys. If we can be of any service, please call, text, smoke signals. We love y'all.
Thank you. Day. Oh, before we go, please, if you know of any first responder, yesterday was 9/11. Please tell them your appreciation, give them hugs. What is family member, neighbors, or just someone, just let them know you appreciate them.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you. Have a great Monday.